Welcome, everyone, to the 13th Annual CUNY Accessibility Conference. Before we begin, I'd like to thank the hard-working members of the CUNY Accessibility Conference Committee and our partners in IT at Queensborough Community College and all our wonderful students, faculty, staff, and ally participants. Just a few house rules before we begin. I definitely want to thank all our ASL interpreters who've worked diligently throughout the week and who will be here today. Please note that the ASL interpreter will be spotlighted during this session. I want to thank our colleagues for their assistance. Next, captions will be available throughout the conference. You can access them through the closed caption button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Finally, if you are having technical difficulties, like several of us have experienced throughout the time of distance learning, please put them in the chat and someone will try to assist you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Charmaine Townsell, and I am the University Director of Student Engagement and Inclusion at the CUNY Central Office of Student Affairs and co-chair of the Council on Student Disability Issues, COSDI, where I serve with my co-chair, Chris Lydon, in partnership with so many hardworking, dedicated staff in disability services throughout the largest urban university in the country, CUNY. I am an African-American woman whose pronouns are she, her, hers, wearing glasses, and I have braids. For all you sports fans, last night was a great night for our New York Yankees and our New York Mets fans, and we want to continue that momentum today. Today is a wonderfully exciting day because it's a first. The first time the CUNY Accessibility Conference has had a CUNY College president as a keynote speaker. I am truly honored to have the opportunity to introduce the president of a place I consider my second home, or my parents would have said sometimes it was my first home, both as an undergraduate and graduate student, the president of Queens College, Dr. Frank H. Wu. President Wu is a proud yet humble son of immigrants. He brings with him a rich history of commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like myself, he is a Flushing resident who loves dogs, but unlike me, he walks to work. Amongst his numerous accomplishments, he was the first Asian American to teach at Howard University Law School, the nation's leading historically Black college, for 10 years. He was vice chair of the Board of Trustees at Gallaudet University for many years and dean of 2 major law schools. When President Wu came to Queens College in 2020, he initiated a strategic planning process, including over 1,000 participants, which resulted in a living, breathing document that prioritized accessibility amongst its key objectives. Recently, he announced a high-level accessibility working group with faculty, staff, and students to advise on its implementation and further advancement. I've observed President Wu and his busy schedule, yet he stops, engages, and talks to students. He even remembers things about them, like their name, where they go to school, and where they met. He is warm, accessible, and student-centered. I know you'll enjoy him as much as we do. First, we'll start by sharing President Wu's video presentation. Hit it, Matt.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Charmaine, for that most generous introduction. As an advocate for civil rights and civic engagement throughout my career, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to address this year's CUNY Accessibility Conference. And as president at Queens College, I take tremendous pride in your work as University Director of Student Engagement and Inclusion and co-chair of the CUNY Council on Student Disability Issues. I know you did so much when you were a student right here on our beautiful campus. Like another notable Queens College graduate, Chris Rosa, whom I'll be honored to present the President's Medal to at commencement, you've dedicated your professional life to supporting the education of students with disabilities. Since I assumed the presidency here less than 2 years ago, I can't take any credit for your success or for Chris's. I'm so glad, though, to be part of Queens College and the CUNY system, which has done so much to equip you for the responsibilities you hold today. This conference's theme, the state of accessibility, are we living up to the promise of compliance and the law, is truly compelling. Through principles that bring us together, we are able to realize the potential of this great nation, an experiment in self-governance, and disability rights lies at the core of our national values. In keeping with this theme, I'd like to share reflections that are personal, philosophical, and practical. First, the personal. I know I am indebted to the disability rights movement. I would not have appreciated the power of higher education leadership if it were not for the opportunity I had to serve as a trustee of Gallaudet University. I was a young law professor years ago when I was invited to join that university's governing board. Gallaudet is unique in the true sense of the word. It was chartered in 1864 with the support of President Abraham Lincoln and the United States Congress. The same president who ended chattel slavery expanded the horizons for individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing. In the mid-19th century, discrimination against persons who were deaf was open, unabashed, unashamed, and virtually all education opportunities were closed to them. That discrimination was open, yet even if you were a deaf person with the smarts to attend college, and even if they allowed you, you would have had to pay for an interpreter on your own. Only the very wealthy could afford that. From its beginning, Gallaudet used American Sign Language, ASL, in a bilingual manner alongside English. Students, even new signers, develop fluency in both. Over time, through innovative practices such as that, the institution has become not only an excellent school, but also a community center. It is a place where sign language and deaf culture flourishes like nowhere else. Deaf individuals know that when they enroll, they can be whoever they want to be, not defined by what others would deem a disability. Gallaudet has been empowering. Deaf people there thrive as more than students. They are not isolated nor neglected. The young person who in high school would have always been stigmatized as the deaf kid at Gallaudet could be the artist, the athlete, the rebel. They could be who they perceived of themselves as, not the stereotype that others would impose on them. That's something most of us just take for granted. The hit movie CODA, which stands for Child of Deaf Adults, this year's Oscar winner for Best Picture, gave mainstream audiences insight into a world they might only have stared at if they had encountered it. I consider myself lucky to have been welcomed at Gallaudet, where I realized I was a stupid hearing person. The interpreters were all there for me, not deaf people. I was the one who needed help. Whether it was in the boardroom discussing business or during breaks socializing, it turned out that I was disabled. Everyone else could talk about current events in the news. They could talk about sports. They could carry on a conversation just like you or I would be accustomed to. They did it using sign language. Everyone could use a jolt like that. It's an epiphany that changes your perspective on everything. In reality, all of us are differently abled, and any of us could, in an instant, join the disability community. At Gallaudet, people do not have to conform to an impossible standard set by the majority hearing culture with different customs. The deaf and hard of hearing are not labeled with what they lack. I knew too how much I benefited personally because at Gallaudet I saw higher education leadership at its best. And since I had that service on my resume, I could credibly claim other places that I had helped to lead an institution from the board level. And so that made me a candidate for jobs such as the one that I have today. I know that for me, Gallaudet changed my life, even though I'm not deaf or hard of hearing. Not yet. Next, I like to make some philosophical observations. The Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, represented profound legislative change that hadn't been seen in more than a generation. Passed in 1991 by a bipartisan coalition, it wasn't the same as other civil rights laws. It embraced difference. You see, as a law professor, I've studied this. So much of civil rights has been based on a model of assimilation and sameness. When I was a student in law school, that was before the ADA was enacted, that's what we were taught. The legal doctrine of equal protection under the law is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. That's what it says there. And subsequent congressional acts in the same spirit. This legal concept assumes that people, all of us, want to conform as much as possible to an unstated norm. You are entitled to the same treatment as the next person if you are the same as that person in relevant respects. But under those assumptions, if you happen to be different, you cannot claim you're facing discrimination. You see, if you're different, then you can be treated differently. So the consequence of all this is if you're black, you have to be as much as possible like people who are white. If you're female, you have to be as much as possible like people who are male, and so on and so forth. That demand, that expectation, is the exact opposite of diversity. The problem with that paradigm before the ADA is it couldn't accommodate distinctions. It was abstract and formal, and it forced people to fit themselves into boxes they didn't belong in and shouldn't be told that they have to squeeze into. Then, in 1991, the ADA offered an alternative. It recognized difference. It even used the word accommodations. And what it said was some differences matter, while other differences only appear to matter. They're superficial. They matter because of how we've built the environment or because of our own prejudices. We take the difference and we exaggerate and distort it according to our own preconceived notions. What the ADA did was it transformed our understanding by transforming our perception. Yet it went further than that. Once the ADA said that for disability rights, difference mattered, the concept could be extended further. With race, with gender, with religion, sexual orientation, and so on and so forth. Our ideals need not be constrained by sameness. Freed, liberated from these old expectations, we could embrace diversity in a true sense. Thanks to disability rights, and to the benefit of all of us, we've moved beyond sameness toward difference, toward respecting difference and honoring it. That's what diversity, equity, and inclusion should be about. Now, how does that play out in practical terms? CUNY, and before that, the colleges which came together to form this powerful system, was expressly founded to lift up New Yorkers, especially new New Yorkers. The documents that created the CUNY system could not have been more explicit nor more enthusiastic. These are institutions dedicated from the very beginning, founded for immigrants, the children of immigrants, that great migration of African Americans from the Deep South, the influx of Puerto Ricans. All of these families across generations came pursuing freedom and opportunity. They came from the world over because they saw that New York City was the greatest city in the world. And once they were in New York City, they flocked to the CUNY system because they also understood, whether it was the parents, the grandparents, or the children, that higher education is the engine of the American dream. A degree from a CUNY institution is the key to the door. We are then a university of strivers. We're proud of that identity. We know that thanks to CUNY and what we offer here, people advance not only themselves, they advance their families, their kith and kin, the communities they represent and return to lead. People with disabilities are another group who hope to transform their futures through education. And all of the demographic categories that I've mentioned before include people with disabilities. Disability lies at the intersection of so many identities. We shouldn't even need to use the term disability. I call it out because it should be a source of pride, not shame. There should be no stigma in acknowledging that all of us are differently abled. To make good on this promise, at Queens College we have started what we can do, that we can do only by working together. Our new strategic plan was developed during the pandemic. We had more than 1,000 people take part in drafting the document. Every stakeholder group was present, was active, was engaged, and diversity, equity, inclusion is embedded in every facet of this strategic plan. It calls for establishing a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive campus culture, quote, to make Queens College a place where everyone feels welcome, understood, supported, and protected, end quote. To advance that goal, the plan commits the college to becoming a school of choice for students with disabilities and closing the retention and achievement gaps for all students. To ensure this vision is not an illusion, we have already hired a Chief Diversity Officer and Dean of Diversity. That Dean of Diversity title is unique in the CUNY system. We upgraded the role to the cabinet level and then added another Director of Compliance and Investigation for the Title IX enforcement, which is also crucial. We've approved an additional hire into the office. The person who joined us as Chief Diversity Officer and Dean of Diversity, following a national search, I'm delighted to report, is an alumna of Queens College, Jarima DeWeese. She and I have put together an advisory body, the Queens College Accessibility Work Group. Members of this work group will facilitate our continued compliance with the ADA, with Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act, and the other legal directives and policies to ensure accessibility for all of our community members. Furthermore, the work group is charged with ensuring that accessibility remains integrated in all campus operations. It is infused into our practices, communications, and attitudes. That's not enough. We know that people need to see proof of this commitment to accessibility. Well, We're home to the CUNY wheelchair basketball team. We're glad to host them, representing the entire CUNY system. And seeing this co-ed team out there practicing, I'm impressed, even intimidated by their dominance of the court. A member of that team, Queens College student Sierra L. Garcia, has been invited to try out for the United States Paralympic wheelchair basketball team. She's the first CUNY student athlete to be invited to vie for a spot on any U.S. national team of this type, and the tryouts are underway right now. I'm sure all of you join me in wishing her the best of luck. In additional sports news, Queens College has put in a bid representing New York City to host the Invictus Games for disabled and wounded military veterans right here on our campus in 2025. We just had a delegation visit from London to check out everything. I hope we land this competition because it would enable us to renovate our residence hall to add a record number of spaces built out for special needs. We're taking on 2 other finalists. There are only 3 internationally, and we're confident we'll beat them out. To make our campus and our culture accessible to all, we have to rely on one another. Disability rights highlights our social contract. In so many ways, the pandemic has served as an equalizer. Adaptive tools and software enable people with any type of condition to meet and work online with their peers as equals. We are bound together. Material support for disabled persons and their families is an investment in ourselves and our shared future. As we work on all of these issues, all of us who are committed to this ongoing task, perhaps we could conceive of diversity as a process, not an outcome. Like democracy itself, you cannot acquire diversity as a product, nor should you ever wish to end it and be done. Both diversity and democracy demand ongoing participation from each and every one of us. At every meeting I walk into on the subject of diversity, my hope is to sustain the dialogue, which is crucial to our unique system of self-governance, to this diverse democracy. The goal is not to say, there, it's over. It is instead to say, what must we do next to make good on a promise that we've made to one another that has made this nation what it is. Thank you, all of you, for your nonstop efforts and for serving as powerful role models. So much work remains to be done. Let us get to it together.
Fantastic. The Invictus Games. We wish you all the best. How exciting. It is now my honor to introduce President Frank Wu.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? My pronouns are he and him, and I'm Asian American. To my shock, I'm 55 years old. I've been cutting my own hair since the pandemic started, so I have hardly any left. And today, I'm speaking to you from my office on our beautiful campus. So I'm wearing a blue suit and a white shirt, and we have a bookcase in the background that I finally got organized with some of the books that I brought here 2 years ago when I started this job. So I want to thank Charmaine once again and all of you for being part of this important conference. I am deeply humbled to have had the chance to say just a few words, and I've said enough, so I'll open the floor for questions if you have any about anything that I touched upon. And it really, I know, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for the disability rights movement. Looking at the example of the Gallaudet president, King Jordan, and everything he did in a record-setting 18-year stint in office, the first deaf person to lead that institution. And I know too that disability rights have just transformed how we think about civil rights and human rights for all of us, whoever we are. And as I spoke about, there is much work for us to do. This can't just be rhetoric, it has to be reality. And we've gotten that started here at Queens College, part of the City University of New York, in the greatest city in the world. So thank you, Charmaine, and I'm happy to take a question or two.
Thank you so much, President Wu. Much appreciated. I'm going to ask my colleague Claire to help assist to navigate. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. Right, President Wu. One of the things that I wanted to ask you is, what is, if you had to name one or two, what would be the most exciting thing that you experience now as president at Queens College at this university?
Oh, that's easy to answer. It's being back and welcoming people back. It doesn't matter what the occasion is. Just this morning, we did something, it was sad, but so important. We had a memorial, part of the Yellow Heart Project, for all the victims of COVID. And it was so good to be able to have families who are grieving on campus, in person. Now I know that we're meeting over a virtual platform, and it has its advantages too, but human beings are meant to be together in the company of other human beings. Although that occasion, what brought us together was the pandemic, I know that there is so much happening that is so positive. On a day such as this, a glorious day, it's warm enough you don't need a jacket, there are students just hanging out. They're just on the quad, eating their lunch, reading a book, socializing. And I have to say, it is wonderful. There are still people who are in shock. They haven't been out very much. And I know we have to be cautious still. And there's been all this terrible violence. The attacks in particular, not random, but racial, directed at people of Asian descent. The subway shooting yesterday, our heart goes out to all the victims. And I know they're still searching for the perpetrator. So I know for some people, they emerge with anxiety. And we've all been isolated for too long. But what gives me hope is when I see them on campus, just walking around. I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what they're doing, just to see people in 3 dimensions, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, but I know they're vaccinated and they're testing. So I know they've taken precautions, but just to see people, and something that we've forgotten. We've forgotten what it's like to meet new people, to greet a stranger who might become a friend. And in a world that has been divided in so many ways, it's important to do that, to say hello, to make eye contact, to shake hands, just to mix and mingle, to bump up against other people who you didn't know before, but you're going to come to know them through higher education. I see that there is a question about making Queens College and CUNY even more accessible. I thank you for that question. So we do have a new accessibility working group. We hired a chief diversity officer. Now, every CUNY campus has someone like that, and they do fine work. What we decided to do was, in addition to the compliance function, looking at Title IX and all the investigations, we would add an additional person. So we would double the number of high-level professionals. And so Jarima DeWeese joined us. She's a member of the cabinet. I meet with her every day. We work on everything. And she said to me, you need to have an accessibility working group. So we put it together right away. We invited faculty, staff, and most importantly, students. And they're charged with looking at exactly this issue. So I'm so glad we have the question. I don't just sit in my office and make all these decisions. I want input from the stakeholders. So I look forward to hearing what they recommend. And within what CUNY policy allows, and we always have to go to the state and look for funding, we will do everything that we can to be truly inclusive. I understand there's an additional question about captioning and interpreting. I'll let Charmaine and the
Sure.
others who are responsible
Sure.
for the conference address that. So thank you, Charmaine. I need to excuse myself in just a moment, but I just want to say again, Charmaine, with your leadership, we're making so much progress. So thank you. All right. Take care now.
Thank you so much, President Wu.
Thank
It
you.
absolutely takes a village. Thank you, President Wu, and thank you all for attending. The next session will begin at noon. So please use the same link that you used to get here to join us. We hope you enjoy the rest of today's conference. Have a great day. Thank you.
No, you just need to use the same link. Yes, you will be joined as a panelist again.